Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Sorry it's been quite some time now since I've uploaded any content. Reason for that being we've moved house, so that's kind of taken up all of our time, so needs must. But I've been having some issues with cold start on the van. It's a bit of a funny one. Once it's been started, it runs fine. It'll start however many times for the rest of the day you want it to, but just initially, first thing, particularly when it's cold, it refuses to start. You can turn it over as much as you want and it won't start. I've tested the glow plug relay because that's quite common on these. That was fine. The glow plugs are actually getting power to them, so I know it's not the glow plugs. I've removed the glow plugs and they look okay to me. I don't actually have a multimeter or whatever you call them to test them to see whether they are working correctly or not, but on a visual inspection they look fine and they are getting power to them. Plus, like I say, once the engine has warmed up or has been started, it can sit there and it can cool back down, because like it's February at the moment, so it is pretty cold outside, and she'll start straight back up again. It's just if it's been standing overnight, then it won't start. So I've been doing some research, and a few of my mates have said that are quite know quite a lot about diesel engines, and some mates that know quite a bit about T4s have said to change the oil filter, fuel filter. So I've been to Euro Car Parts because they were doing a 50% off sale. Got myself it's a patent part, it's not a genuine Volkswagen part, but for £8. So I thought for £8 it's worth giving it a go. So I've got that. Also, when I purchased the van, it came with a new one of these, which is the, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the fuel return valve. It fits on top of the fuel filter, because I've inspected the fuel filter and the return valve that's on there has still got the original Volkswagen clips, the ones that are a nightmare to get off. If you know what I'm talking about, you know the ones. They're an absolute nightmare to get off. Generally speaking, people break them to get them off and then replace them with a Jubilee clip with a screw head on them, just because they're a nightmare. So far as I can tell, the fuel return valve or filter, whatever you want to call it, is the original one, which is kind of worrying because the van's done 201,000 miles. So and I've also read online that just changing that fuel return valve or filter, whatever it is, can sometimes solve a cold start issue. So I'm hoping by changing those two things it should solve the issue, but I'll get them changed and we shall see if that solves the problem. So for those of you that don't know, the fuel filter on these is located down inside the battery tray, just there. Really easy to change. 2 Jubilee clips. Ooh, if it focuses. One there, undo them, pull the pipes off. This just has an R clip on it. Right, if I can pull that R clip off. And then this little, whatchamacallit, and give it a jiggle, will come off. Diesel will come out of that, as you can see. changing this today as well. But the filter itself just comes out. If it's hard to remove from the top, you can access it through the wheel arch and push up from the bottom, but generally speaking they pop up from the top. So after a lot of jiggery pokery, we got the old, I think it's a return valve, I'm not 100% sure what it's called. Very, very discoloured off the top of there. These are directional. It has an arrow put on the top of it, if you can see that. The arrow should be pointing towards the cab, just for future reference. So I'm going to replace that now, then pop the new fuel filter in, pop it all back together again, and hopefully that solved the cold start issue. So again, after a lot of jiggery pokery and shouting and I've got it out. As you can see there, you will get a bit of oil that leaks out. It's currently slowly dripping on the floor. But yeah, oil filter's out. Fuel filter, sorry, I keep calling it oil filter. Time to fit the new one. So, out with the old and in with the new. As I was saying, if you're struggling to get it out, you can push up on that just there, which is inside the wheel well. I won't really know till tomorrow morning when I come to start the van if this has done the trick or not. It needed to be done anyway, so it's only cost me £8. So worst case scenario, if it doesn't work, then I'll have to find out what the issue is, but for £8 it's worth a shot. Moment of truth, guys. See if she starts. Yes. Oh. She's alive. Happy days, happy days.